Uruguay is pretty. It's pretty calm. There wasn't ever really anything that happened to me. There was, I, I believe there was one or two tornadoes that happened. I think, but I don't know if they're really classified as tornadoes. But that's what the people call them. So, there were some trees uprooted and houses were destroyed. So perhaps it really was. Uh, Other than that, it doesn't get too extreme with the weather. Um, the there are four seasons there. The the fall and the spring are very nice. Although they're kind of short. The the winter it's very cold there. It never gets to freezing, but because it's humid, you do feel the cold a lot. Although having lived in Utah, Utah is still colder, and but the heat there is, well, for me it was incredible. I couldn't believe how hot it got there, and especially I was in the hottest part of Uruguay, up in the northern area in a place called Artigas, and I was there during the worst moments of the summer, which were December, January, February, and it really it was awful. We would sleep at night with the fans on, which I never had heard of before. Sleeping with fans on, I didn't think you could, but it's so hot that you really can't without it. But then there were several weeks where it's just so hot that the fans didn't do anything because after a while it's just blowing hot air onto you, and it was um, it was really just to the point where you would go take a shower in the morning and then you come out and you just still just keep sweating, and then you got to work and it just you'd always, the missionaries would wear cowboy hats all the time. That you could always pick out the missionaries because they were they often, like, they look different from the Uruguayan people. They also like were wearing white shirts and cowboy hats. This is pretty classic missionary look in during the summer. Uh, and you really need it because otherwise you get burned really bad on your face or your neck. Um, and so the heat there, it does get very hot. Um, and oh, it does. It rains a lot there too. No, it doesn't rain a whole lot, but I think because the ground is saturated with water, I don't know, but it will rain and then everything will just flood. The streets will flood, and you have to cross the street, and it'll just be like little. You have little ponds appear in the streets, and you'll sometimes get stuck because you can't cross because you'll be up past your ankles in water anywhere you go from the sidewalk, and so sometimes you have to walk right through it. And that was really surprising, just how much how much it rains and how quickly it floods everything. So, um, and humidity. There's a lot of humidity there. Had to learn how to deal with that. Coming from Utah, there's not any humidity, and so in Uruguay, I was surprised even just opening up my scriptures, like leaving them out in the open. The pages was start to they just change. I don't know, they pick up water from the air or something. I don't know, but they would start. You couldn't like open them normally. They would start acting up kind of funny just because they like swell up a little bit or something. I suppose is what's happening, and you get some mold. Never I had to learn how to deal with mold and getting out of the cabinets, out of just the walls and everything.